of May 20th, $30.00 to 50 trillion will come into the XRP ledger, making each XRP worth $390.18. The news came from Forbes Business Insider, which said that $1.25 quadrillion is set to enter the XRP ledger, starting with $100 million 0 cents in daily transactions on May 2nd and rising to $300 trillion 0 cents daily by Q1 2026, which would make each XRP worth $398.18. Forbes also said that XRP would be worth a huge $60.00 in a few weeks. When you think about it, you're talking about how $30 trillion 0 cents will slowly start to flow into the XRP loan over the next couple of weeks. This will be followed by a huge $300 trillion 0 cents in daily transactions starting in the first quarter of 2026. When we look at the bigger picture, we can see that XRP, the XMP ledger, and the Ripple system are being used all over the world. Let's start with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, which runs the World Bank. It praised Ripple's XRP as the best payment system for crypto payments and confirmed that they plan to use it for payments between the World Bank and several countries. I used yellow to draw attention to the fact that Ripple is a real-time group selling its payment system, currency exchange and network that Ripple Labs built. US-based tech company, and that Ripple lets international companies sell cross-border payments by moving XRP through the Ripple network, which creates liquidity on demand. Also, the Federal Reserve has made it clear that they want XRP to be able to run the blockchain part of their FedNet payment system. Of course, this comes after the Federal Reserve and Ripple Labs met more than once, and this part of the Federal Reserve report talks about how Ripple, a well-known company that helps with cross-border payments and distributed ledger technology for financial transactions, is likely to be one of the fintech companies that the Fed will now use. In other words, not only are institutions adopting it, but so are states and the Federal Reserve of the United States of America. Now, these are just a few of the more than 19 central banks that have not only chosen to work with Ripple Labs, use and accept XRP, but have also bought XRP, 9.4 billion euros worth. And it looks like this is something that is always going on. Now, before we go any further in the video, now is a great time for you guys to get some free XRP because XRP is about to hit a new high and has already gone up over tens of thousands of dollars. People who watch this video, sign up for Apple using my link in the description, leave comments but not in the comments section, hit the follow button, and share this video, will get up to $100 0 cents free to use to buy more XRP. It's free money, there aren't many requirements, and it only takes 5 minutes. I really think you should take the time. Just follow the 5-minute steps in the description to sign up for Uphold and complete your transaction. I will then give you up to $100 0 cents in free money that you can use to buy more XRP. At the moment, the price of XRP is $2.30, which is a nix bounce up. It was closer to $2.35, which is great because it shows how much we've recovered from the lows. But if we pay close attention, we can see that the real price of XRP is the 9.4 billion euros worth of XRP that has been bought by 19 central banks, including the Central Bank of Japan, which announced a big global buyback of XRP that they thought was worth about 3.9 trillion Japanese yen. One of the big prices that was talked about and that we talked about in this whole video is $390.18. If you want to watch this video again, click here. And this report, well, you guys will see why. It is also confirmed in this report that more than 200 financial institutions have already decided to work with Ripple Labs to start using XRP to make payments. And this study proves it even more, says seeing Ripple as a normal option to the normal way of sending money around the world. More than 200 banks and credit unions have joined Ripple as payment companies, and credit unions use XRP as a way to get between banks and other currencies, starting to use Ripple because it lets them send money without having to connect with a partner bank. And this video of Bank of America saying that they're using XL for all of their internal transactions just shows that. Let's watch the video. And the wave will be the path that everything follows in the future. In other words, they made their own stable coin, and as I said, Bank of America used it for all of their internal business. It has 83 different rights, and some really cool stuff is on the way. 30 to 50 trillion on XRP, and all of it trades on RTAX. Let's go. You can look at my original predictions, but the whole market is 1.4 quadrillion, which is all of it. And all of those types of assets are already beginning to move on chain that you can see. And how easy It is for people to become interested in money market funds, tokenized treasuries, and other similar tools. The support for stablecoins. When I see DTCC, Euroclear, or Clearstream, it only takes one of them to go fully digital. When you talk about removing cash, we could see that that alone has trillions of dollars worth of investments that move up to tens of trillions. Plus, this is only a tiny part of a very big market, 1.4 quadrillion shares. Okay, so you heard that 30 trillion. XRP is on the XRP inventory. Now, Brett Gulling has also said that Ripple has teamed up with more than 100 banks to use XRP for payments around the world. He said it again in that report and live on TV, saying that more than 100 financial institutions, that's 100 times as many as before, have wanted to help with payments. Now I'd like to talk a little about the XRP letter, since that's where all the money will end up and move. The ping or watch token, also known as the ECTF token, is the most important DeFi token in the XRP letter and Polygon chain. That's the most important DeFi ticket now. It's really taking off, and big stores like Amazon and Walmart are supporting it. They're building on the XRP letter right now because there isn't a framework for crypto trade. Because there is a possible $20 billion gap, the token could go from 92 cents to $740.50 per CT. There are only 119 million tokens in circulation, and it was just reported that over 1 million tokens will be burned in a massive event. And this means that as the date gets near, we will be getting closer and closer to a huge burn. 1 million sitio have been made available on the AIX app, and they will be burned on May 3rd. So as the date of May 3rd gets near, things will move a lot faster. A market that is greener. Obviously, it's making a huge pump right now. It's currently in a small stabilization phase, but it looks like we're about to get another big breakout. Now, once that does happen, we can only think where it will go from here. Since there will be a huge demand and a smaller supply, things will get even crazier every day. I mean, these guys are from all over the world. Experts on influences and analysts. There are more than 300,000 fans for the $1,000, and many of them are saying the same thing. Steve, tokens will cause a huge supply shock. $745.50 will be hit. So that being said, I'm not saying that non-financial advisors weren't financial experts when I was investigating. Still, it's something we should keep an eye on. If we go all the way to their website, you can see this is the network system that blushes when it hears words it already knows. You can get them on the XRP Ledger, SushiSwap DEX, and Max Bank. And the 480 Fistles made more than $3,980,000 with more than 33 users. Once more, this is bullish. You can also get them on Band Exchange DEX. When you look at this in the bigger picture, you can see that this is going to be a world paid rewards.